Hi everyone, my name is Tran and welcome back to another episode of What Would Tran Do, where I analyze the videos you guys submitted during the Foundations Live competition and I talk about how I would re-edit it to make it more optimized. So if you're new here, I like to talk about all things user-generated content to help you look at your content more strategically so you can be a content creator that every brand wants to hire. In episodes 1 and 2, we identified a few common mistakes that a lot of UGC creators tend to make at the beginning, so let's recap them and see if you can identify some of these as we go on this series. Number 1, speeding up your visual shots instead of keeping the clip at 1x real time and just cutting and removing any unusable footage. Number 2, text placement being too low or too high to fit the safe zone. Number 3, text overlay covering important subjects such as the product or the face of the creator. Number 4, not enough clear B-roll shots of the product by itself. And also remembering to remove the dead pauses or breathing or gaps between each sentence so that the script flows better. Hey guys, it's Tran. So this is me post-editing and I actually have another common mistake for you guys that I want to address. So I noticed that a lot of beginner creators like to immediately start off their video with auto captions, and while this can work for some concepts like street interviews and podcast style videos, I find that unless your verbal hook is like super strong and catchy, auto captions don't really capture a viewer's attention well enough from the very first look. So in order to get people to want to watch your video for longer, it's best to give them a one-liner statement because these give more direct context into what your video is actually going to be about. So let me go ahead and give you an example of this. To the person that owns this company, yeah, you deserve every penny. To the person that owns this company, yeah, you deserve every penny. For the auto caption text hook, you'd have to watch the video around like 3 to 5 seconds to fully absorb the hook, whereas the one-liner hook can be visually understood from the moment you lay eyes on the video. So if your viewer is like in the motion of scrolling, they might not even stick around long enough to finish watching your hook if you're giving them just like the auto captions. But if you're giving them a statement that already has some context of the video topic from the get-go, they might be willing to watch it a little bit longer to hear what you're talking about because they know what it's going to be about now. So yeah, the combination of text callouts and auto captions can do a lot to help make your video more engaging and dynamic, and it also allows you to like emphasize certain aspects of the product more easily. And without further ado, let's get started. So the brand we're evaluating content for today is Berga, specifically these water bottles, and here is the first video.
If you're still drinking out of plastic water bottles, it's time to join the eco movement. We all need water, but we don't need the plastic, and neither do the landfills. That's where Berga comes in. Your bottle doesn't have to be boring. They are BPA-free, scratch-resistant, and keep your drinks hot or cold for over 24 hours. I love that I could toss it in my bag without worrying about it leaking or getting scratched up. Plus, there's no metallic taste. Whether I'm at the gym, office, or outdoors, every sip makes a statement. With over 150 designs, you're sure to find one as unique as you are. Break the cycle, ditch the plastic, be bold with Berga.
So for this, I feel like the visual hook was just not strong enough because just why doesn't give enough context to what the video is about or why the viewer should keep watching. Text hooks typically should be a full coherent statement with a clear subject. The text should also be immediately visible. They had like a 1-second pause before the text came on screen. Sustainability is usually a secondary value prop for consumers because while most people might justify buying a product because it's more sustainable, it's not always the primary selling point. So I like to reserve mentioning that towards the latter part of the video. Also, the music was giving like mid-2000 YouTube like clothing haul or something. I feel like it just needs to be a little bit more upbeat. The text also did not fit the safe zone. It's either too long or too low. I would have loved to also see it put inside a backpacked side pocket or maybe like a drop test or a scratch test. And then also the text, visuals, and script didn't always synchronize. So here is how I would re-edit it.
Your bottle doesn't have to be boring. They are BPA-free, scratch-resistant, and keep your drinks hot or cold for over 24 hours. I love that I could toss it in my bag without worrying about it leaking or getting scratched up. Plus, there's no metallic taste. Break the cycle, ditch the plastic, be bold with Berga.
Okay, the next video I'm going to show you guys is actually pretty good, and although they were not one of the top 3 winners of the competition, they did receive honorable mention.
I was so tired of my cold drinks getting hot and my hot drinks getting cold. So I caved and finally got the viral insulated water bottle from Amazon, and now that's never an issue. I can leave it for hours and the temperature of my drinks never change, and it's not big and bulky, so it fits right in my cup holder. It's leak proof, scratch resistant, so I can just toss it in my bag and not worry about ruining my stuff. There's no gross metal aftertaste to my water or drinks. These are always selling out, so make sure you get yours.
Okay, so right off the bat, I think the variation variation and the clips were really great. They had a mix of good close-up shots, medium distance shots, and far away shots. The hook was also visually eye-catching, and almost all of the product close-up shots were shot in clear, bright, direct sunlight. So personally, I didn't feel the need to re-edit this at all, but here's like a few minor tweaks I would do to make this a little bit more optimized. So in the hook, the fact that she's not directly in the center of the video is like making my eye twitch a little bit, but that could be my OCD. I'm also not a huge fan of the color scheme they chose for their text. Okay, so this is my personal opinion, but if you're not going to use the traditional black and white colors for your text, and it's not a default auto caption format that the app generated, then it should be using the brand colors. But in this case, the brand colors are black and white, so the purple just feels a little bit misplaced. And since it's a bit close to the top of the screen, the white text box kind of blends in a little too much with the building and the sky. So if you're gonna place text there, I would rather the white text with a black box to make it stand out more. Or you should just pull it to like the middle of the screen so it's like front and center, and then you won't have to worry about color contrasting. I think the text line here is too long. So visually, if you only have 1 second to read something and it's presented like this, then it's gonna feel a lot more easy to mentally absorb right away because the subject is condensed to just one area. And I'll take this time to talk about text composition inside your video. Number one is don't leave your text unwrapped. Make sure you're clicking the second wrap option, which will be under styles and background. Secondly, this is something you should keep in mind when formatting the text overlays for your video. Again, you want everything to be kind of like visually centered to one area. So if it's a 2-liner, think rectangle, and if it's a 3-liner, think diamond. And if your 2-liners have way too many words in it, then make it a 3-liner. And your 3-liners should not look like pyramids. There's no explanation for this really. I just think it looks ugly and wrong. Okay, back to ripping apart this video. This shot, the subject is a little too high to fit the safe zone. They should have retaken the shot to recenter it in frame. And then for the CTA, again, the white text box is blending in with the white background. I think this should have been made in a different color to create some contrast between the text and the background of the video. All right, guys, so that is it for today. I hope you guys liked this breakdown and that you're able to take away some helpful tips. And if you're looking to learn about all things UGC, including how to get started, which brands to target, pitching and negotiating for the highest rate, and scaling to multiple 6 figures by outsourcing and expanding to UGC adjacent income streams, make sure to click the link in my description box to join my masterclass. And then, as always, subscribe to keep updated for more episode releases, and follow me on Instagram at tran.ugc for more UGC tips and tricks. Bye!